So we'll just go into it. All knights are bastards. Yeah, no, they really are. Let me allow that. I mean, honestly, like, again, I think it kind of plays into the dynamic that actually is cute, that, like, uh, guys kind of don't think about it. It's weird. I don't know how to explain that. I think it's kind of funny, but, like, at the same time, yeah, it does make me dysphoric, but I wasn't, like, upset about it. Like, I mean, I kind of was, I guess, but, like, at the same time, like, no, it's seriously, like, it's, it's, like, so minor. I feel like this is just part of, like, communicating with the world, like, in general. I was on my stream when you were talking about the word bro. Oh, no, I mean, yo, like, it happens. If they don't know who I am, they don't know who I am. They, like, hadn't seen me. So I was just telling them because, like, they were talking to me. So I just wanted to, like, say it to them. We got the Moogle flute, so now we can save any time that we want. My controller is kind of acting up here, so we might need to switch to keyboard again at some point if it gets broken. But right now it's working, so. This next segment is actually one of my least favorite segments of the whole game. So we'll try and fly through it. I really don't like this part of the game. I think a lot of people don't like this part of the game. It's just like a little bit slow. I really appreciated that you corrected the person at all. I thought that was really nice of you. Because like I normally just have to stick up for myself. So it's always very nice when people just say something. And like I said, that person couldn't know. They have no idea. They were just in chat. They had no visual. If they saw who I am, like I feel like when people see who I am, when people witness me, they're like, "Oh yeah, like of course, like I use she, her pronouns. Like people in real life never misgender me ever. They like really don't. It doesn't happen. I've gotten dead named more because people like read shit off of lists without looking at it. But luckily, I never have to worry about being dead named ever again because all of my names are legally changed in every way. All of my documentation is accurate, and that is part of the reason why I can stream is because I'm not so mentally burdened by transphobia 24/7. And I mean, talk about bullshit. Like, the process to get your name changed and to change your gender marker is just so crazy. It's so hard. They keep you so much. It cost me about like $600 to $650. It's not a cheap process. It is not a cheap process. And they really don't help you from step to step. You have to be very, very much like proactive in the process, but I'm glad it's over. And like again, part of the reason that I started this stream is because like, hey, maybe other trans people are going through the name change process. And so like I can be a resource for trans people who are going through these experiences, or I can talk to cis allies about these experiences and sort of talk about what I had to do and so that they know how to like help their friends or point them along. And this isn't a stream where I'm like advertising myself as talking about my experience, but I'm kind of always doing that on this stream. And you're always welcome to ask questions or just like, I don't know, uh, comment on things that maybe you think I might have a perspective on that I could bounce back some ideas about. I don't like the music in this section, but like, it does a good job of making it seem like an ice cave. Like this is probably what an ice cave sounds like, kind of. Nobuo Uematsu is such a genius. Okay, so we'll go up here. Luckily, this place isn't actually very far. Like, it's not, I don't like this segment of the game, but it's not long. There's not really that much here. Could really go for some coffee after seeing that gif. I was drinking some coffee earlier, but it's all gone. Now it's just water in my water bottle. I try not to drink too much coffee because it's bad for the environment. Sorry I haven't responded to your comment. I just keep talking about coffee. Let me see what you wrote. I used to work for DMV in Ontario. You'd see people looking to change their name and gender, and yeah, they'd need to have all these certificates that take years. You felt bad because you never understood why exactly. Like, why make the process that hard? I understand to one extent, like having it so like there's a process where all of your stuff is like coordinated, like having social security and having the state like have the same name, like it kind of makes sense to have a process to change your name in an orderly way so that stuff doesn't get like lost. But then it's like, why make it purposefully gatekeeping to like prevent people from being able to do it? Like that part, like to me, the whole point of government is to help the citizen. Like, I mean, I'm kind of an anarchist, so I think that government is wrong. But like, I'm also not a good anarchist either. So like, I can't say that I'm not a hypocrite. Fortunately, one of the things you learn in philosophy, one of the first lessons I learned in philosophy is that hypocrisy does not make an argument invalid. It's true, you can be a hypocrite and what you're saying still be true. So if a smoker says that you shouldn't smoke cigarettes, then what they're saying is still true, they're just a hypocrite. And that's how all of logic works. Hypocrisy does not make an argument invalid, it just makes you an asshole, as my philosophy professors would say. Which I always loved, I thought that was so funny. And yeah, so I'm like an anarchist, and I think that government is basically just bad, but at the same time, I don't see a way around it either. And I have no like helpful suggestion. I hate fighting these guys. I'm gonna do something I rarely do, which is run from this fight since it's a back attack. It's just really not worth my time. These guys kind of suck, and so I'll even use the skill flee so that I can just get out of the fight. Yeah, gender is not necessary on basically any ID. But since it's on there, having the right gender written is actually pretty affirming for me. It's kind of a euphoric thing in that regard. I thought I had Flee Gill on. I should have gotten Gill from running away. Let's check our abilities, because clearly... Yeah, I do have Flee Gill. I should have gotten money. I guess that doesn't work when you use the ability Flee. I won't heal anyone yet. We don't need it. Like your name, face, date of birth is really all you need. Yeah. Yeah, I mean... I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh, whoop. So if you, there's like little airstreams, if you see those, if you touch those, then it triggers a fight. And I'm trying not to get into fights. We don't really need to, unless we're leveling up. I don't know what it is about this part of the game that I just like find so like not fun. But this is like one of the least fun parts of the game to me. I think it's because the boss fight that we're about to do sucks a lot. The next boss fight, you're alone as Zidane, and you have to fight 2 different enemies, so they get to attack twice as often, and it's a lot of you healing. Like, you just have to heal yourself. And I will fight them this time. I will fight them, because it's nice to have a couple levels. You agree with me. You also think it would save a lot of people the time. Yeah, it totally would save people the time and the effort. It's like so silly. This really is fun, just playing games on stream. I can see why people like it so much. I didn't really think of myself as a game streamer, but I'll probably do it more often. I'll probably do this once or twice a month is my strategy right now. We'll see how much we do it in the future. But I'm thinking once or twice a month I'll just spend a whole day just playing video games. It's just as much for me too, because I just love games, but I never like have the time to play them. And so this is a format where I might like get to play some games that I love, but then like also get to do it in like a little bit of a different way that motivates me more to stick through it. Cisgender people don't have to jump through all this just to prove that they're men or women. I know, it's crazy. And in fact, you have it forced on you at your birth that you're one thing, and then you can't correct people. You're bad for derailing. No, you're not derailing at all. You're helping me. I'm derailing. I'm like a train with a mind of its own. Teach me, Mogster, lesson 2. I don't think we need it, Mogster. Hey bro, what are you gonna teach me today? Nothing. You're gonna teach me nothing. Gosh bro, you know so much. Okay, we're gonna save. I knew that we were gonna get 100 out of 100 nobles earlier. I just knew that we were gonna get it. It's too bad that we fucked up everything around it. I forgot to do like 7 other things just as a result of like tunnel visioning on getting 100 out of 100 nobles, but I said we were gonna get it, and we got it. Okay, we're about to do what I think is one of the most annoying boss fights in all of history. We might need more than 12 potions. I think we're gonna commit, but like, we'll probably need all 12 potions here. But this fight sucks. It's probably one of my least favorite fights in the whole game. It's kind of funny how in video games, how early on in the game, some of the fights are harder than the late game fights just because of the stipulations they put on the fight. And so in this case, this fight's actually really hard just because you're a low level, because there's 2 enemies, and because you have like no abilities or any way to heal other than using your whole turn to heal Zidane. It's so annoying. The worst us Sishners get is weird gatekeeping from a minority of people. Yeah. Cis people have a lot of advantages in different ways, for sure, but I'm also, like, sometimes I'm happy I'm not cis, even though I don't like being trans. And it makes me, like, more conscious of just, like, examining my experience. Like, if you're trans, then you're automatically, like, kind of a self-reflective person. You're someone who has, like, introspection, and you care about, like, emotional regulation and, like, inward thinking, and, like, really considering who you are, like, at your core. So here we go, we're gonna fight Sea Lion, and it is a very shitty fight, and I always take out the Black Mage first, personally, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna steal everything from the Black Mage, healing when we need to, and of course we're gonna waste trances too. That's another shitty feeling. But we're gonna steal from the Black Waltz. They only have 2 items each instead of 3, so that makes it a little bit easier. And I'm not gonna fast forward through this because I'm definitely gonna mess something up if I do that. I might not even want to do damage to them first, because if I do that, then they'll use higher level abilities. I might just want to steal everything and then attack. I don't know if that's the best one. I'm gonna read that like long post in just a second, just because I am gonna focus on this. I'm not using the mode where the time pauses, so time is of the essence, and in this fight, if I want to steal everything, then I'm gonna need to, because I'm gonna get hit one more time, I think. Nope. It might not have been good to waste a whole high potion, but it's okay. It's alright. It's better to just have HP. And of course, here it is. I'm gonna get tranced. Okay, we're gonna steal from Black Waltz. Hopefully it works. Being in trance does not give you a higher chance of stealing. And this is exactly what I was saying about how much this fight sucks. It's pretty shitty. Because it's going to take just a long time. There's our silk shirt, so we can actually use the trance. Because what we're going to do is we're going to kill the Black Waltz with the rest of our trance. We have about 2 more hits, so we can use Dine, and we can use... we can actually use Tidal Flame and hit both of them, because we're not going to kill both of them with this. We want to do a little bit of damage to both of them. Oh, sweet! That killed the Black Waltz alone, so that's great. That's what we needed to do. This fight's going basically as well as we can. You agree you deal with other ship, but never because of your gender. Oh, whoops, I didn't even realize Undyne Van had talked in there. Both of your names are the same color to me. Okay, I need to heal, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna heal, because I could use my trance there. But I don't want to kill this creature, because if I kill it, then I won't be able to steal. And I think if I did one more strong attack against it, I would kill it. So I'm just going to steal and keep myself alive, and then we'll just start attacking it. Yeah, thank you, Undyne Fan, for chiming in. I thought that was on the Beal there, but I haven't had a chance to read the chat very much because I'm focusing on this. I am going to read the big long post there in a second. I'm kind of excited because it's nice to have content to refer to. But it's also just hard when you're like in the middle of the fight to keep up on everything, especially this fight where kind of just like at an innate disadvantage. Maybe it's just like my own memory that is getting to me, because I'm doing a really good job so far. I have one of them down and I've stolen all the items except one, and it hasn't been that hard. I'm not even gonna use a high potion. I'll use a regular one. I don't know if we'll use 2 in a row or not. I didn't see if we were successful in stealing because I looked over a chat without actually reading what was in it. We weren't successful, so it's okay that I did to try again. We might even get to trance again. Mithril Dagger, that's what we're looking for. That's awesome. This fight went so much better than it's ever gone for me. This is probably literally the easiest this has ever been for me. It's gonna start using Tsunami though, so we still have to make sure that we're at a high HP. I think I'll attack once more and then heal once more. Nope, it's dead. I was wrong. That was a much easier fight than I recall. Am I on easy mode? Easy mode. Okay, we can go ahead and equip the Mithril Dagger. And we're about to change Garnet's name to Dagger. And then the other thing you were talking about is just being cis and how it's like you don't really experience really any issues as a result of being cisgender. Like there's not really any oppression towards being cisgendered. And you know, that's so true. But at the same time I was saying like sometimes I'm grateful for being trans because like I can see how gender binary like hurts everybody, and so I'll see like people walking around being toxically masculine or feminine and like suffering as a result of these standards that they're holding for themselves, you know? Like people tell you you have to be tough, you have to not show your emotions as a man, and I'll see guys where it's like, "Oh my gosh, why can't you just like cry or just like curl up in a ball under a blanket tonight?" Like I don't know. Like as a trans person it's like I've like seen the sham that gender is. So many people buy into the binary and they suffer as a result to it, and if you're cis then you don't have a reason to think about it, so you can get trapped in like self negative thinking as a result of binary thought. The sun feels great. Says Garnet. She's about to change her name. This theme song for Dali is my favorite theme song in like one of the whole games. I'm trying to record it on piano. I have like a really beautiful version. Sounds like you've been everywhere, Zidane. You're so traveled. The only other worlds I've visited are in books. And that's what I was saying in earlier, is that Garnet knows that she's like a trope. Garnet knows that like, oh, it's a princess who's escaping a castle. She's read I Want to Be Your Canary, the play that they were in earlier. And she is like so smart and she's aware that she's like this walking like sort of metaphor, but she can't even do anything about it. And I kind of feel that way in my own life because I feel like I'm the trans narrative. I am like a pretty trans woman. I knew that I was trans when I was very young, and I was kicked out of my family because of it. In so many ways, I'm like literally the thing that people think of when it comes to like the trans narrative. And I'm really aware of that when I navigate the world. And I think that Princess Garnet is aware that she's like sort of a trope of a princess who's like trying to escape this castle and go on an adventure and break norms and stuff. And she's about to change her name to Dagger, which is a much less feminine name. She's about to say that because Sedane's about to critique her tongue, her vernacular. This is my problem. I have like I have such a refined lexicon that I can't just be like I can't be a country person. I'd never really pass in that regard. Everybody would know that I'm from the city. They don't know my city slicking words. You'll address her as princess now, peasant. I kind of said that like salad fingers a little bit. What does salad fingers say? I never did get to sample the delights of Jeremy Fisher, back from the Great War. Marjorie Stewart Baxter. I never did get to sample the delights of your flavor. Steiner, I do not intend to return to the castle. Salad fingers. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch Salad Fingers. I'm kind of into all the fucked up humor. I brought up Alan tutorial on this stream before. Alan tutorial and salad fingers are kind of similar. Okay, sorry, I'm not even looking at the chat. I need to focus on the chat more. I hope that I can convince people to be like more vegan and sort of live more in line with nature and peace. Seen as fragile-minded compared to our white counterparts. I don't know if I read this earlier, like out loud. Fragile from our white counterparts, and the mistreatment from mental health professionals in the past have fueled the fears of POCs in the present. Yes, I did read this out loud earlier, but I feel like I didn't talk about it enough. I'm not sure exactly what to say about it. I just wanted to like bring it up again. Seen as more fragile-minded compared to our white counterparts, and the mistreatment from mental health professionals in the past have fueled the fears. You at least reinforce my vegetarianism. Ah, that's nice to hear. And you know, I try not to be imposing about anything that I believe because I truly believe in like self-determination. I also do think that it's good to try, and I think it's good to eat less meat objectively. I think that's an objective truth that it's good to eat less, and I do think it's wrong to hurt animals. I do personally think that that's wrong, and I think it's wrong to support factory farming, but we're not even worried about that right now. Right now, we're worried about Dagger changing her name because that's what I was trying to talk about, like gender in regard to this game, and this is actually a really crucial scene in terms of gender, because Dagger is or well, Princess Garnet is changing her name to Dagger, immediately taking a much more like what I think would be considered a masculine name, but really just in general not a gendered name at all. Daggers are a pretty feminine weapon, but they're still a weapon. So it's kind of like right in that middle of the binary, if it's even on a binary at all. Um, you know, there's also something to be said about like the type of a weapon that a dagger is. It's kind of like a shadow weapon. It's like an assassin's type of weapon, and it's like Princess Garnet is taking a step out of the spotlight from being a princess to being like an assassin or living in the shadow. And again, I was talking about Ruby as a side character who always wants to be in the spotlight. Garnet, who's changing her name to Dagger. Uh, they let's press confirm, and it's not letting me press confirm. There we go. Uh, yeah, Garnet's who's now Dagger, is taking a purposeful step outside of the spotlight when Ruby kind of wants to be focused on, and probably deserves it too. And Garnet has like no theatrical talent. That's like part of it. Like they're about to say that like they're doing word training now. No, no, no. What would Vivi say? You gotta say alrighty. I do say alrighty personally. I said earlier that I don't talk that way, but I say alrighty all the time in my life. Alrighty. I always make sure to talk about things. Oh yeah, you at least reinforce my vegetarianism. I think I first became vegetarian because someone I dated was a vegetarian. Um, and I also had a teacher who was vegan who like really encouraged me. And then I read this James Rachel's article on veganism. James Rachel's is like a very famous vegan philosopher who argues for veganism and like everything that they write. And I read a paper. I forget the name of the paper that they wrote, but it was on veganism, and I was just convinced. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. But it still wasn't for a couple of years after that. Like I was convinced that I needed to become vegan, but I wasn't like sure how I was gonna do it, basically. And I don't know if we can go to the gate there. There's like a gate over there. I don't know if we can go over there or not. We're gonna try. Um, we did just save, so we should be okay. We're gonna go over here and see if there's items here, because there might be. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm trying to hit 50 followers. So if you're following for the first time, if you're new here, I hope that you're enjoying watching me play Final Fantasy IX. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm hoping to share some commentary on it that's kind of unique. Uh, I think I have some takes on the game that aren't like super common, and we're kind of flying through the game now that I have fixed our controller issues. We're having some technical difficulties at the beginning of the stream, but now things seem to be pretty good. Oh wait, is the game audio coming through? It is, yeah. Cool, we're good. We're good. I should trust myself. I should trust myself. We'll go ahead and do this fight. We'll fight some carb spiders and some snakes. Whatever they call the snakes. Tunnel snakes. Where are the tunnel snakes? Yeah, people sneaking meat food in. You told me that some people sneaked some meat into some of your food. I mean, to me, that's like basically poison. I feel like I'd get sick because I haven't eaten meat in so long if someone actually snuck meat into what I was eating. I've had people do dairy. I've had people feed me what I didn't know was cheese. That's definitely happened. And I've also had people serve me things that's been cooked with meat, which is kind of as bad. I think a lot of people don't think of it as bad, but for me, I think of it as bad. I know I just saved. I'm kind of a chronic saver. I don't know about you all in chat, but I like to save a lot. In Resident Evil, I wouldn't save because it kept track of your saves, and it made me self-conscious about how much I was doing it. But in this game, I save, like, probably too much. I've lost my saves way too much in my life. I think there's an item here, so I was just gonna get it, even though you come here with Steiner later. And I love this part. I was talking earlier about how much I love coffee, but there's a character there who's all about coffee. And I might take another break before we go into the next town, because I really like this town, and I want to be, like, fresh for it. It has been, like, probably an hour since we took a break before. I'm gonna double check that stat by going to OBS and seeing what our time is. Because I just want to stay fresh, and it'll give me a second to maybe eat a small little snack. Yeah, we've been going for almost 4 hours, so this is, like, right at the halfway point of the stream. I was planning on going for, like, up to 8 hours today. So I am gonna take a break. I know it's, like, a little bit abrupt, but we're gonna pause the game. Just because the next section is so good. I want to play through it uninterrupted, and I don't think that I can get through it in, like, a smooth fashion if I don't take a break here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on BRB, and